Hi, my name is Ryan Price, and we're sitting here at the Urban ReThink with our founding director, Mr. Darren McDaniel. And Darren, you had an interesting thing happen yesterday right when you walked into space. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a pretty special day. I walked into space and I saw Ryan and another former collaborator of mine, and maybe future one, Mike, sitting and talking to Dina back at a table, and they were talking to someone else. And so I came in and joined the conversation, and something came up about Anthony Hardaway, I believe, but a cultural reference that Ryan had made. And then there was some tie to it while we were talking about Adonal Foyle, and when the woman said something to me, when she said the name Adonal Foyle, she said to me, "Well, you don't know who he is either." And I'm like, "What, are you kidding?" I said, "I've been talking about Adonal Foyle ever since we opened this place." That it was really, to me, a magical moment, because Jenna Waring had done an interview with Adonal Foyle, and I really admired the way that Adonal Foyle was able to bridge his creative pursuits with athletics. And so when he retired, he composed a poem and read a poem for his retirement. And that's the kind of thing that I just thought it would be great to have him down here and talk about that, and just get into some more depth in that. It's one thing to read the poem and hear him do the poem, but it's another thing to actually have him talk about what compelled him to do that, because most people don't do that. And so it's a special addition. So anyway, in talking to Shiana, who is the head of his foundation, because what he did was he started a foundation to reflect his values and basically equip others, youth in the Caribbean, with the opportunities that he had going into basketball, using athletics to realize his full potential. And so that's another thing, that knowing that he had a nonprofit too in the area, I really felt like there was a real opportunity for synergy there with what he's doing and what we're doing with Page 15. So anyway, it just so happened that I happened to be here and meet her, and she said, we're looking for a place to have his birthday party. And I'm like, here.
Well, and it's just interesting because, we're here, we're open to the street. So that's something that not a lot of spaces internationally can claim, that you can just walk in off the street and come in and just approach someone. Like the physical barrier to entry is literally zero. You open a door and then you're in here, and it's during regular hours. Here we are. And if you come up to the cafe people will sort of point upstairs and say, "Go up there, ask those guys," right?
Yeah, and when I'm thinking about even that particular day, I mean, it was a week ago that I was sitting down there working, and I looked up and I saw Adonal Foyle walk by, and someone came up and talked to him on the sidewalk, and I said, "Okay, well, I'll let him keep his peace this time, but next time I see him, I'm going to go talk to him." But that's what's happening all the time. So Patrick Kahn was down here working on with a snap meeting, and somebody walked by that I know he had some recent connection with, and then the person came in while all this was going on with the Adonal Foyle story, and Dina knew that guy from the hospital. He works with Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, and so they made that connection, and it's just synergy is just like the magic. I always used to say that this is going to be a magic place, and it was no more evident than yesterday with all those things happening.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's not a place just for experts. It's not a place just for people to come and get a sandwich. It's not just a place to come and have a meeting. It's not just a place for people who are paying members. There's something for everybody here, or that's at least the mission, right?
Right. Just that flexibility of reason to be here and what you can expect to get when you're here, if you're open to it. You're open to the idea that anything is possible when you're down here, whether it's collaboration or focus or whatever it might be.
And something that I thought was really interesting, the neighbors yesterday, we were over hanging out at the court reporting office across the street, and they sort of had their light bulb go on when we said, it's not just artists, it's not just graphic designers, it's not just filmmakers, it's really all of you, people who work in the legal profession. Your job is just as creative. The Richard Florida definition, the knowledge worker, or I'm not sure who originally came up with that, but that the knowledge worker, definition really applies to people here, but not just people that are working. There's also the enthusiasts, there's the hobbyists, there's the people who are not yet anything and they're looking to get started, or maybe they'll come to an event here because they were dragged and they'll become inspired, right?
You get that spark and convert themselves over to somebody who, or from someone who looks at life and like, I'm not creative, when that word creates a barrier for them. And then ultimately, as you demonstrated yesterday in that conversation, as they began to realize, yes, I guess I am creative, and I show creative thinking and approaches to the way I do my job. And so that's not even just knowledge workers. That's anything. We all have the capacity, and we all bring creative processes into our performance of our work and our performance in our lives. And we want to showcase and celebrate that.
Well, and that's something that's been a personal mission of mine with Florida Creatives Happy Hour, which I've been doing for 4 years now. And every time somebody comes and they're like, I don't belong here, I have to call their bluff. And I'll talk you into believing this, because you do something. You're, oh yeah, I just play with my coloring books on the weekend, or I've got my, music selection and I make mixtapes for people. Like, there's something that everybody does, I promise you, that could fit into what we're trying to encourage here.
Even the way you load the dishwasher.
Now that is something right there.